And that'll all go in for
Using my voice to get through. I'm John Evans, Mayor Pro Tem. Mayor Stevens is in Springfield today lobbying for the highway connector, and I believe I talked to him on the phone, and I believe he got some, had a very fruitful day. So, actually some possible funding legislation from the state. So, very excited about that. Pastor Peter, communication, please.
This council tonight, Lord God, and with all the visitors and the guests, and just open their minds and their hearts so that they can have insight into what you have planned for the future of Murphysboro, that they are involved in, and decisions that they make, Lord, will be the correct ones, the right ones for the citizens of Murphysboro. These things we ask in your name, Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alderman Hughes. Alderman Curry Winston. Alderman Campos. Here. Alderman Austin.
Here.
Alderman Jackson. Here. Alderman Pittman.
Here.
Pro Tem Fergus.
Here.
Alderman McComb.
Here.
Alderman Bastian.
Here.
Alderman Glad.
Here.
I thank you. The first item is consideration of the minutes from March 14th meeting. Corrections or changes? Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
Motion second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? No. Pass. We want committee and commission reports. First, budget and finance, chaired by W.J. Pittman.
There's no items under old business. Under new business, we have financial statements prepared by Scott Evans. Scott?
Thank you, David G. Well, since it's a light schedule tonight, I'll just take my time and go really slow with this stuff, okay? Now, anyway, the income tax report that I have in front of you tonight, we received $61,820, which is above the running average for March, about 9,000 ahead of last year at this time. And so, even though last month was a miss, so to speak, on the receipts versus a year ago, we had a nice bump this month. So, but I do still believe that we're going to have less than last year. But with the 3 months we have, we should, if everything stays in the same train, we should be pretty close to budget. So, and it's hard to reflect that after 3 months, but so far so good. The next report is the salary, current month and year to date versus budget for citywide for all departments. And so for the month of February, we spent $272,000 and change on salaries citywide. Same period we budgeted $324, so we were under 52, and which is about what we were under the previous month. So we're sitting on a cushion after 2 months of about $104,000 to the good. And again, we haven't had any 3 payroll months yet, so we don't want to get too excited about that. But anyway, first 2 months, pretty good. And the last report is the revenues and expenditures in general fund versus budget. So for the first 2 months, we have spent $1,387,000 and we budgeted $1,233,000, so we're about $154,000 over budget, but I can explain most of that away. Timing issues, obviously on the administration line, we've spent $596,000 already in 2 months. Well, $258,000 of that was the purchase of the building, which of course was budgeted, and so that was early in the game, so therefore it's going to show like we're over budget for now. But and then keep in mind too that obviously we're going to be spending lots of money on the ARPA down the road, so we're going to see more negatives on our numbers this year, and it's planned because we knew we had to spend that surplus from last year. The other expense, insurance, we're a little bit ahead there because that's typically billed quarterly, so it's a timing issue on that too. And the revenues in the box there, you'll see, we have received $1,101,000, and for the same period we budgeted $1,072,000. So we're a little ahead there from where we thought we would be. So we have a $286,000 deficit, and we thought we would be at 160, so we're a little bit ahead of that. But again, that building made a big difference. So that's all I have. Any questions on that?
Questions? Thank you, Scott.
Yep.
Next item is consideration of the second TIF redevelopment agreement disbursement to Murphysboro Holdings LLC for $51,821.17. I know that's the second half of the one that we approved last meeting, so thought we split that up because
We hadn't received our final tax payment from
we
the
have
county.
received
and
final
now we
tax
have.
payment now.
Yes.
So does anybody have any questions about that? So then we just need a motion to approve that disbursement, is that what we would do?
Yes.
We have a motion, do you have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? That motion will carry. And then last item under new business is considerations of accounts payable registers, and we have register 578 and 580. Anybody have any questions about bills?
Yeah, I do. I got most of my questions answered today, but I do have one question on 578, and Scott can probably answer it. That roof was really done in December? No. Well, it says the invoice date was December 2nd, 22. So was that budgeted for this year?
Budgeted for 2023, yes.
It was budgeted for 2023?
Yeah, because we knew the cash.
The invoice date was...
Right, because we knew the cash leaving the bank this year, so.
Okay, I just couldn't remember, thank you for clarifying that. There was, I think there was one other one. Somebody, Leandra, can you tell me what property that was that we purchased? It was on page 5, I think it's on South 3rd and Illinois 13.
It's the one that we approved at the last meeting, the 305
I'm
Walnut.
so sorry, I don't, is it on Walnut?
It's down the hill.
Okay, all right, I
But
know
it-
where it is. Thank you. That's all I think I have.
Are there any more questions on the bill?
Half the roof payment, the Park District pays the other half, is that correct?
No, it's our building, so we're paying the full amount.
And that is the full amount?
No, that's the half,
of
yeah,
it.
for materials.
And then
the-
when it's just completed.
Correct.
But entertain a motion to pay the bills? Motion in second.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. That's the last item on the new business. Is there any public comment on the budget? Hearing none, we got a budget.
Moving on to building and grounds.
Thank you, John. Now, we have no old business and we have no new business. Is there any public comment regarding buildings and grounds? Yes, ma'am?
I have nothing, never mind, I'll ask it and I'll...
No, okay. She pushed me.
I have been talking to the residents in Ward 2, and I have a question that I think also can go into Public Works, and it is about whenever we are doing sidewalks, I got you too, Charlie. Sidewalks, the city, it goes 50-50 deal? No?
No.
Okay, tell me.
They're charged $2.25 per square foot to replace the sidewalk.
And what else?
Basically, they're paying for the concrete, the city provides the tear out, put by seed straw and all that.
And there was $2 and what,
And we're-
they're probably not even completely paying for the concrete anymore.
It's right.
It's really edgy, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. But what about if, and this is where it counts, what about if the driveway, the little thing that, yeah, it's a driveway, entryway to the sidewalk?
We don't do anything with those.
Okay, I get, thank you very much, I just had to ask. Thank you. Yeah, question one, yeah, let's go, move.
Is there any other public comments regarding building and grounds? If not, John, we can move out of building and grounds.
All right, thank you. That moves us to community relations, which I will cover. Have no old business, one item of new business, consideration of application for 5K runoff at Relay Light, Saturday, May 20th. There's an application form.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
All right,
I'll second.
discussion? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? That passes, thank you. Any further comment on community relations? Hearing none, we'll move to public improvement, chaired by Mr. Basson.
Thank you. We have nothing listed under old business or nothing listed under new business this evening unless we have any public comment. That being said, we can close public improvement.
Thank you, that moves us to public works, chaired by Mr. Khan. Gary?
No?
It's yours?
Yeah.
If you can handle it.
It's the first time I can ever remember that. There's no old business, no new business, any public comment. Here none, we can move on.
Good job, Gary. Moving to public safety, there's no old business, to one item, new business, consideration of resolution adopting the Jackson County Multi-Hazard Mitigation Plan. There's a resolution in our packet, Brian sent out an email, and some further.
Yeah, this is the revision to the hazard mitigation plan that I believe was last done in 2015. The county emergency management, along with Greater Egypt, coordinated the update and review of this, working with the municipalities and public safety agencies to get it updated so we can submit that to the state and FEMA. Having projects in the county listed in this opens the door to potential hazard mitigation grant funding for the city. So it's a good thing for us to be a part of this.
And you're involved in the planning information?
Yes, they had 3 different meetings, and I was attended. They were all web meetings, and I was in all 3 of them.
All right, thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second,
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, I just wanted to, did we ever get this in Mike Boss's hands?
It was sent to his office. I've not personally put it in his hands, though. So, yes, that information on Pine Creek was sent to his office.
Okay, thank you, Brian. You worked really hard on that, so thank you for that.
glad that you have to study 196 pages that we browse.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second, I did second.
All right, thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed, no? That passes. Any public safety? Move on to personnel, chaired by Ms. Hughes.
Thank you. So what do you do? There's, go ahead.
I'm sorry, did I miss Public Works?
Yes.
Oh my God, I was talking to you. You see what happened?
You're in trouble.
Oh, I really need to address some issue.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, this,
Gary.
it's your department. Are you okay with me addressing a late issue? I missed the train.
On Public Works.
Is you sleeping again?
But you know what happened?
No, I don't care.
Thank you.
Don't bother me a bit.
Thank you, and I'm sorry, my apologies, I was talking to you, referring that word, but there is one issue, and that goes on 15th Street, North 15th Street. I know that there is a legal issue, a litigation right now going on, and we cannot discuss anything about it. I see the gentleman over here sitting down. They have an issue with flooding in 2017. Legality is not my department because I'm just an humble elder man. But there are two issues that they were exposed to me. One is that the storm soup, the storm drain that is on the city property have collapsed and is, I would say, if somebody walks around in that alley by there, it can easily get hurt. So we need to pay attention to that, I think so. I'm not talking about the legal issue. The other thing, it was reported to me that he wanted to request from Charlie, what is Charlie? Oh, Leandra, you're here, okay. That he was requesting a permit for excavation and put a fence, and the permit was not issued because of the legal environment that is going on. But I don't think, I don't know, that's what I'm asking here, why we cannot issue a permit to fence the area, to put up a fence, and the excavation and the conflict. It is something that they prohibit the city, some law that prohibit the city to issue a fence and excavation permit in that property.
I know you're looking at me, Gloria, but I do not know the case. Would have denied the permit, I'm not familiar with it.
First thing you ought to throw this question right back to Mr. Mills.
I don't have anything to do with fences.
No, I don't have nothing to do with fences. You're just with the storm, sorry.
Is this the Kimmel property?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, this is, I don't know, maybe before your time being on here, but we have discussed this problem out there many, many times.
I know.
And the church put in a parking lot, drained all their water down that way. It's private, the church is private property, we can't change their water situation. But that's flooded. I can remember when I was in Logan School, if you can believe that area flooded.
Yeah.
Because
We used to swim in it at my grandma's house.
now they build houses in there, and, because we got our butts whipped for out there playing in that water while we was at school. And that's always a water problem there. It's not nothing that's just come up, but they have built houses down through there. So the water, the old saying, the water seeks its own level.
I believe there's a gentleman in the audience.
Yeah, that's the Kimmel.
May I add
Go
some
ahead.
clarification to the basis of what's going on here?
Yes, please.
So we're over the water issue. I know you discussed it, all that. So the last problem was last August. The insurance company denied it after our attorneys talked to the insurance company. There's a city letter from 2003. There's a city letter from 2009 that deemed the drain in my yard private. The pipe goes under my garage. They deem that private. You've seen my yard, you've seen my yard, she's seen my yard. That yard is mechanically cut down. So my homeowner's insurance says that we're 100% liable if that floods and my drain is the problem. What I asked for a permit for was to return that yard to grade. We're not the lowest house on the hill, so what I'm asking for is an excavation permit to return my yard to the natural grade.
Well, I would say your first deal to go to would be code enforcement. That is, you the permits for that.
Yes, he said
And
he couldn't talk to me because of pending litigation.
he couldn't talk to you?
Correct. I explained the situation, that we had an insurance claim, and the attorneys were talking to the insurance company, and he said he couldn't talk to me because of pending litigation. Which I understand, but that's why we're here.
Well, I'll talk to Charlie the first chance I get in the office and see what's going on. I mean, I know this water issue's been going on for years and years. It didn't help you when Church built a new parking lot and angled all that water down there without any curb or gutter to turn another way.
You are 100% correct.
And I just assume they got a permit to put their parking lot in, you know, but, I don't know that, but I will talk to Charlie and ask him questions on it, and then bring it back to the council. I mean, that's the only thing I can do, other than, and I know we've discussed it, you had your garage flooded, and, I don't think we can make any bigger storm sewer down there.
A curb drain would help.
Huh?
A curb drain in the alley would help. But the water's not the problem. It's all the stuff sitting on top of the drain. Logan Street is the actual problem. If Logan Street doesn't flood, my yard will never flood. So, and I realize you're working with limited access to the area there. You can't do much where they have the parking lot. That has to be a flat grade. The curb drain on the other side is what it is. But if you would put a curb drain in the alley, once Logan Street floods, the curb drain will catch the majority of it. That drain works great if there's nothing on top of it.
The most I can do is get Mr. Mills out, me and him to look at it and see what his opinion is, and then what Charlie's opinion is. And we'll go from there.
Thank you.
Would you stay in contact with Mr. Kimmel so that he knows that you're in something there?
Yeah.
You know, after you talk to Charlie, you may want to even talk with him again.
I'll go through the right lines first. I'll go to Darren and Charlie and then
I
give
don't
him an
want you hanging
opinion.
out there not knowing if anybody's taking care of it.
What's your phone number, Mr.
967.
Thanks, Leanne.
501.
Is that all good?
Yes, and I really thank you for, this up, I was
Well,
showing him.
That's not a big deal. I knew there was always something on my agenda. We can move on, Don.
All right, thank you.
Are we out of public safety yet?
I think we're back to personnel.
Now we have to start all over.
Yeah. Okay, there's no old business in personnel, no new business in personnel, public comment on personnel. Hearing none, I think we can get out of that, Mayor Pro Tem.
All right, thank you. The mayor's report, there's one item, and really doesn't tell me about this, so update on water tower, actually, said, ask Mr. Sheffield.
Yeah, I can handle it, John. We did have a pre-construction conference for this project on March 10th, and at that, we had the contractor on the phone and also the tank inspector and our office, and the city was there also. And we discussed, the main thing was Blip has antennas on both those towers, and it would be quite an issue for them to really take those out of service. A lot of their people would be out. So we did put Blip in contact with the contractor. And I think we've got it all resolved right now. We're waiting on shop drawings to come from Blip to us so we can look at them to make sure that it's compatible with the tank. I think there's not going to be any loss of service during this whole tank painting process. They're going to put a temporary antenna on top of the tank and extend it through the containment system. So no additional cost to the city. Blip is paying MaxCore, the contractor, to do all the installation of not only temporary but permanent antennas. So I think that's what the mayor just wanted an update on that. So I think they're planning on trying to get started. Of course, it's weather permitting, the temperature is more important than anything on doing this, but sometime in the next week or two.
All right, thank you.
And we are starting with the 17th Street tank first.
Have you painted the tank cover?
Yeah, I don't know whether we've ever, we discussed this at the council. I know the tank, 17th Street tank, we do plan on putting that one back yellow and with the apple emblem, maybe try to make that a little bigger, the apple. The boot camp tank, the last word I got was that it was to go back as red, so that's the plan right now, unless anybody, some of those colors, it's tough. I mean, the clear coat system they put over these colors now is a lot better than it was back when those tanks were put in, so hopefully in 20 years they won't wash out as much as far as those bright colors have a tendency to fade in the sun.
And we can't make it a big, look like a big, grill, can we? There's nothing's changed in that. Wouldn't that be neat?
You can do anything for a cost.
Well, yeah, but I think.
I mean, it was a
something
question of
with-
advertising for Weber
I was
Grill.
gonna say, if it's an advertisement, see, it would be so neat for the capital, the barbecue capital, to make that look like a barbecue.
I think the discussion was that some other barbecue company from out of town would win the bid and put theirs up there.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that. I think Weber actually was involved somehow with wanting to pay for that. And it's a shame we couldn't get somebody to pay for doing something of the artwork.
Yeah, I mean, we cannot do it, but we could do a nameless grill with an apple up on top.
Tim, can you get up there and paint it like a barbecue grill without Weber or Traeger or some other name out there?
It will be awesome, really. A grill.
Very glorious.
I know.
We can keep dreaming.
Councilmember requests, issues.
I have nothing.
Couple season, that's all, thank you.
Mr. Austin,
I'm good, John, thank you.
Jackson,
Nothing, thank you.
This thanks Tim's crew and Darren's crew for the taking care of the streets, and I know Saturday we had some sewer line breaks, water line breaks.
You did do a good job.
what was the power out Friday night?
Yeah,
Power
2.5
out
hours in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was north of town. I think,
Well, all Wall Street was out.
transformer got hit.
Yeah, Wall Street was dark.
We're on South 15th area, they did the whole south area too.
We were safe.
We were out from 10 until 12:30.
I wasn't home, actually.
We're on the right side of town.
Yeah, we're on the right side of town.
Mr. Bassett?
Yeah, I agree with Gary. I just wanted to thank Tim and Darren. I called Darren about 6:45 Saturday morning. We had a major issue on Pine Street. And he returned my call quickly and they come out quickly, so I want to thank them for all their hard work. So, thank you.
Mr. Gladden? Actually, I do want Chief, thanks to the police department, they were the stoplight
Yeah, we
patrol for
had
few
quite a
hours.
few people out.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah.
We were coming into town and one of the people was, why are the police there? I'm like, because there are no lights other than the police.
Yeah.
Trying to prevent traffic accidents.
Yeah, it was pretty dark, especially down Walnut. It was
Yeah,
really dark.
it was. Department head requests, Mr. Blake?
Nothing to report.
Is it good?
I have nothing, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Evans?
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing, thank you. Nothing, thank you.
Just to make the council aware, right now, we're scheduled to have the annual maintenance on our warning sirens, April 12th through the 14th. So prior to that, once we've confirmed the date and weather is going to cooperate, we'll get media notification out and get that on social media so that the residents are aware of it, just in case you should
What's the date?
get any phone calls. Right now, it's April 12th through the 14th, and there will be a short test of each individual siren as they go through and do the maintenance on them to make sure everything works correctly. So sometimes that generates questions and phone calls.
Especially if it's raining.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shepherd.
Have nothing further.
Mr. Reed?
So on Saturday, when we did lose power, I went to my office. I came in through my office door. Pat came in through the outside door. We just about bumped heads in the hallway because we have very little emergency lighting there. And it kind of come to mind at the time, whereas we don't have a generator on that building. It took a little while to get our sewer backer out because we have electric doors, and just something maybe kick around in the future for maybe next budget year if we might want to consider putting a generator on that building, because it was pitch black in there, so we're using our cell phone lights. And I also want to point out that Pat had his crew out as well, because every sewer lift station in Murphysboro, there's 4 or 5 of them each. They're not all equipped with generators, so the guys had to take generator on trailers out to those spots and get those pumps back up and running, keep that out of people's basements. And I'll pass on to my guys the good thoughts from the council, because they sometimes don't feel appreciated. I know that they are, but I'll make sure that they know.
Well, majority of folks probably have no idea what goes on to keep things going.
Right,
When they aren't working right. Well, thank you. Ms. Vaughn?
Nothing, thank you.
Ms. Ryan? Lights?
I'd just like to agree with Tim on that generator up there in 12th Street. Like if we would have to get a pump out for our Walmart lift station to bypass it the other night, we wouldn't be able to get out very easily in a timely manner. So it's just something to look forward or look into going forward.
What would that cost?
Pat and I have been talking about it. I mean, I think there's one that, it used to be at the river lift station at the sewer plant in Rupert. And it's out of Harrison on a trailer. I don't know if they would run that building or not. That might be something we can work out with Brian.
If we end up replacing this building, we'll have a generator and transfer switch here, which is well-maintained, that probably could...
Be more than enough to cover that building.
Definitely cover that building and probably the other 2 buildings if we wanted to tie those 2 buildings.
But in the meantime, maybe we could get our building equipped and maybe use a trailer unit and store it there instead of somewhere else, and we'd have it there if we needed it. We could use it.
Because if you've got room to store that one there, instead of storing it at Harrison, you could just...
Yeah, I mean, we could work something out or build a little lean-to for it or something, we could do something like that. I'm not sure what it all entails to install what we need, or what that would cost, but again, just kind of wanted to throw it on the radar and see if maybe we add to the agenda next time, and I'll try to do a little research.
Our generator guy comes in July, does all our service. I could ask him to see what it would cost to hook that up.
You can put a transfer switch in.
Right.
That sounds like a good idea.
Well, we can move on that and just add some numbers for you next meeting. Okay.
Might have them tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks.
I hope not.
In the meantime, we use our phone flashlights.
Mrs. Willis?
Just what-
You folks have any? I know you've been sitting here patiently.
So, yeah, actually, I do. I reached out to the mayor last Sunday, I believe, about a situation I live on Spruce Street, and it's Edith, I guess it's behind me. There is a family that has, I don't know how to word it exactly. I'm fed up. There are children that range from the age of 2 to 8. I've contacted DCFS, I've contacted the police. I think it was, the 9th or something like that. They broke into my screen porch. They ripped the screen out of my porch, my door. The porch door is all, it's like the piece that's nailed in that you hook it to is pulled out because the kids were trying to, open it. And we were gone. We were at Roll King, and our neighbor saw them trying to break into our home and yelled at them, and they stopped. When we got home, they were not there, so I didn't I didn't even really know that's what had happened until the 5-year-old boy just walked in my house and went into my backyard to play with my kids. What is his name?
Kenneth Bastian.
And Jayla, I believe is the woman's name. I know they're in trouble with the police often. There was one point over the summer, I believe it was over the summer, where they were in the alleyway and he stabbed her in the arm. I did contact the police over that. There was another morning, it was a school morning, about 7 a.m. They come driving up 15th Street. She was driving the car trying to run him over, and then somehow they switched and he was driving the car trying to run her over when they came back down 16th Street. I called the police over that. I called the police when the boys tried to break into my home. I called DCFS the same day. I don't know what has occurred with any of that. I'm concerned about the kids, their well-being. The house is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's got boards on it. I've been told they don't have water in the home. I don't know if that's true or not. The kids look pretty dirty. They just are roaming the streets and the alleyways and nobody is watching them. When I walked the 5-year-old back to his home, there was no one there. The aunt was there across the street, and her name is Jenny, but she told me that they weren't supposed to be at her house, they were supposed to be in the yard of their house, and their mom was at Walmart, and she was getting ready to leave to go to Walmart. So who was gonna watch the kids? They were just gonna be there unattended. I don't know if anything's being done about it. It's concerning because they are climbing my fence. They are stealing things. The little boy just breaking into my house, walking into my home. When the officer came out over the screen being ripped out and then trying to break in, I didn't want him to go and specifically point out my house, A, because I'm afraid of what they're going to do. I know they're on substances. I've watched them walk around town with beer bottles and cans and intoxicated, and there's cannabis odor that just permeates that whole part of town right there, and it's coming from those two houses. It was just leaking out of the house when I returned the child. And there's other odors that I don't know what they are, but it doesn't smell great, that are going on over there. So one, I'm afraid of them, and for two, I didn't want the kid to get beat. I didn't want anything to happen to the child, because he was already bruised up and just wasn't dressed properly. And I've been told that DCFS has been out there several times, but I still see the children out there. I'm a social worker, I'm a counselor, I do substance use treatment. I'm concerned about those kids, I'm concerned about the individuals, but also I'm concerned about myself, my family, and my children. Because I'm scared to let my kids play outside. And I love my house. I'm right there on Spruce Street, and it's a pretty house, and I liked the town. I liked to see the growth that was happening in Murphysboro. That's why we bought our house here. I don't want to leave the area, but it's concerning knowing that those individuals are living behind me and they're just allowed to do that, and nothing is being done.
I do have a question. I know that from reading the email that you sent to Mayor and he passed on to the two councilmen of your ward, that you have called the police several times. Have you ever considered pressing charges to help this along its way?
So I was told that when the officer came out that there was really nothing that could be done, that they could go there and give like an official warning per se, but there was no way to prove that they had done it because I don't have a camera set up. And we've been looking at, just pricing how much it would be to figure out what is the best option to survey that spot. Over the summer, we had a bike stolen from the side of our house. I'm pretty sure, but
I have mixed emotions about this. I was aware of the house on 1523, and I knew that it had been, had made several trips there, and that there was some DCS thing, but I really didn't realize that until your email that this was somehow related to the one at 1518. And I didn't know that one had been a problem. And I'm sorry that you didn't opt to call me, or then I would talk to the police chief.
You could call the police chief
anytime. You can call the
anytime.
police chief or police time, any time that happens. Actually, that could possibly get things happening a lot faster than you emailing mayor, which was an okay thing to do. I'm just giving you a line of command that might be faster for you. So if you did that first, and then, of course, he's gonna contact, Janice is not here tonight, but he will also contact them, but if you will contact, her, but if you will contact me or the police department, who I would call immediately, it may be more advantageous for you. Now, I too worry about those children, very much so. DCFS has to take care of that, unfortunately, that's not a city problem.
No, yeah, no, I understand that.
You know that, my heart goes out for it. I mean, I'm a person here that's been fighting to get a safe haven for children that no one wants, and I can't get the state to pass a darn law, but that's neither here nor there. That's what I'm getting at. I too worry about the children. But I think we have to, we're not going to be able to make a decision here to help you probably, and I'm sorry to say that, but we have a code department that is now on top of the problem there. You know, we know they do have water, by the way.
Okay, good.
I found that out. We know that, I mean, you've called DCFS, so it's come to their attention. Probably you are not the only one.
Yeah, I know that I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I think that's a place to start. But I think you have to be in constant contact with this police department and this police chief, or somebody he says you should be in contact with anytime you have a problem there. That's how it's gonna get solved better than us emailing mayor, him emailing us, him calling him, they've set up appointment, you know, it may move things along faster. I will tell you that code is looking at all of, Mr. Iser is looking at all of what might be violations in the yards and the house itself. That's all I know about it, okay?
No, yeah, I don't know, I guess I've called when the things have happened, when it's warmer is when it's worse, so and it just seems like nothing
I get that.
really
I
happens
know that
to
sometimes
him.
I can hear music from the house that I knew about at my house in the summertime, you know, and it's 4 blocks down or whatever, but I understand that it is a problem, but I think we really have to not react, but act, you know, and the best way to act in that situation is to keep police informed all the time and keep on code, and Mayor, I'm sure, you know, he's got his little antennas out too about this, but he can't do anything. We have to do it. He can only make it known to all of us, and you know, I wish I could move them out. And I'm sorry, that's not something I should probably even say, but yeah, I would love to clean that neighborhood up too. It's a beautiful area because it's a historic preservation area, and, you know, unfortunately, in all of our neighborhoods or all of our wards, we have really bad areas. We can't just take a backhoe and take everything down, but we can certainly try to help you solve the problem.
Chief, do you want to respond?
Yeah, on the cases she's talking about where there was calls of domestic violence, there's been several arrests. You can look on Judicial, you know the names, you put them out there. I'm not going to get into that at this forum. This is a conversation for us. It should have took place one-on-one. But the criminal violations have always been addressed. You'll see probably 4 domestic arrests, 2 for probation, and 2 pending on one subject. So we go over there and we'll arrest anybody we can anytime at those residents, and that takes place. I'm the one that got in contact with Code about the yards, and he's moving on that, and I think there's already been letters sent out. And I think the deal with the screen, the guys gave you an option, and I think you said here tonight that you didn't want to be known as, you know, doing that, so you didn't want to move forward, is the information that I got with any kind of property damage.
I didn't want the children to be beat. Yeah, I don't want the dad to turn around and beat that kid, because I know that's what's going on. And the mayor told me to come and address it here tonight. I was told he called me when I was at work, and he told me to come and address it here, and to bring it up. So that's why I showed up, and I did that, is to vocalize it. I understand that it should be a conversation that should have been had one-on-one, and I don't,
Well, and there is open DCFS cases. There's always open DCFS cases. Some of these people have had 47 and 27 cases against them. And so it's open all the time. We went to the DCFS office, and the next day they were out talking, is my information that came back to me. So yeah, all it takes is a little communication, and we can try to make some things happen over there. But those people, one thing you have to understand is the way those people live, they've been living that way for 25, 35, 40 years.
well, I understand it's a generational thing.
Yeah.
It's definitely generational, and that's why I brought that it's not okay for, those kids and stuff. But I also, it's to the point to where I know several people on that street, the house right next to me and the house on the other side, so I'm 1515. I don't know what the numbers are right there, but they both have moved out and left because of that family. So there's only going to be a continuance of people leaving this town and revenue leaving this town if it doesn't get fixed. And the only way is for people to stand up and come and say something and let it be known to all of the individuals at the city council, like, hey, this is a serious, really big problem, and there's a lot of violence that's occurring. And that's great that you are aware of it and that you would have preferred the conversation to be had one-on-one. But I went to the mayor because it seems like nothing happens to them.
Oh, yes, they do. They get arrested.
Reoccurs.
They get arrested. Look at Judici, like I told you. They go to jail. They get arrested. Go talk to Joe Cervantes at the state's attorney's office.
They bond out and go back.
Yeah, and I can, the sheriff and I've served many papers to that household, so they are trying to prosecute. I don't know what the end result of it, but there is a lot of activity.
Yeah, and there is, and that's who it should be directed to, is the state's attorneys then, that's the question of
If you look on
what's
Judici
going
and
on.
some of the people that you named have open cases for domestic violence, then that would be appreciated even from our department.
No, because I don't have a problem going and advocating for that, because I deal with this, I work at Arrow Leaf, so I'm down in Johnson County, the Southern 7th, but I see all of this in my clients. I deal with it, I deal with probation, federal probation, DCFS, I'm constantly writing letters, I'm constantly having the classes and stuff like that, so it's frustrating to come home and it's literally in my backyard, and it seems that way in my life, but just really nothing is happening. So if it's not the police department and it's on the state's attorney, that's fine, I will then take it to him, and I will be like, hey, look, I've said meeting, this is what was addressed, this is what's going on in my backyard, why are you not doing anything about it? And so that's, I will. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate the information, but I think you're pretty well informed that the city's doing what it can do
Yeah.
to alleviate the situation. And as mentioned by Chief, if it's a one-on-one with your household, you would have to agree to be a complaining witness for that case to proceed. So
Yeah, and I understand that, and if there wasn't kids, I would have most definitely been like, I don't care if you tell him my name and who I am. I would love to press charges, but no, I don't want a 5-year-old or 8-year-old child to be abused because they're doing what they see and their talk is okay.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn? Second?
I'll second that. Said Mayor Stevens. Okay, that's what I